Hello, friends, family, and followers. I'd like to talk to you today about where I think we're at with Bitcoin as of March 2019, and where I think things are going to go price-wise by December of 2021, 2 years and 9 months from now. When it comes to Bitcoin, I found that most people are not really interested in anything other than 1. How high will the price of Bitcoin go? 2. When will this occur? And 3. When should I sell to maximize my profit? So I'm here today to discuss prices and dates. So listen up. This is a graphic of the Bitcoin price updated by me to March of 2019, along with the dates of the halving events of 2012 and 2016. You might notice a pattern. What we see are large parabolic moves where the price of Bitcoin increases substantially and reaches a very high price approximately 1 to a year and a half after the halving event takes place. Once it reaches its high, the price comes crashing down significantly and hits bottom approximately 1 year after the peak of its parabolic move. Okay, Bitcoin halving. For those of you who don't know what halving is, it's the supply of new Bitcoins that are awarded to the Bitcoin miners who perform the role of adding transaction records to Bitcoin's public ledger of past transactions. The ledger of past transactions is called the blockchain, which is a chain of blocks. It's basically an append or add only database of transactions that are linked together in a manner in which they cannot be tampered with or altered, and they're as good as set in stone. The blockchain serves to confirm transactions to the rest of the network as having taken place. It's a technique to ensure that past history cannot be altered. Even if you had access to the fastest supercomputer in the world and you used it to attack Bitcoin to alter the blockchain, you might only change a block or two and everyone would notice, so you would have spent and wasted many millions of dollars that could have been spent by using the computer power to help the network and to mine Bitcoin. But I digress. Halving events occur every 4 years and reduce by half the number of Bitcoins that are awarded to the miners. The next halving event is in May of 2020 and will reduce the supply of Bitcoin to the miners from 12.5 Bitcoins every 10 minutes to just 6.25 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. In economics, scarcity refers to the limited availability of a commodity which is in demand in the market. Supply and demand dictates that if there is a high demand for a commodity that is in low supply, the price of that commodity will be high. Bitcoin is a deflationary currency with a fixed supply and can be thought of as hard money. Bitcoin is the hardest money that has ever been available to humanity. Nobody, no matter who they are, how much money they have, or what type of computing power they have access to, can artificially create a Bitcoin, and the extreme scarcity of them, with only 21 million that will ever be available, guarantees that as demand increases over the next few years, and more than 200 million people from around the world are clamoring to get their hands on Bitcoin, the price will increase substantially from where it sits currently at $3,810 USD or 5,380 Australian dollars per coin. It's important for you to understand that for almost every other commodity or asset, as demand rises and prices increase, producers or suppliers will come into the market and increase the supply of that commodity to try to take advantage of the increased demand and higher prices. We've seen this with property, gold, silver, and practically every other asset or commodity that you can think of. In Melbourne, for instance, during the last property boom, what did we see? Apartment towers going up all over town as developers responded to price signals in the marketplace, which indicated demand was high and prices were high and increasing. With commodities like gold and silver, when we see prices rise, we see gold and silver miners increasing their levels of production. As prices go up, we see more people wanting to buy the commodity to take advantage of the rising prices, which causes prices to go higher. As more people hear about the price rises and see their neighbours getting rich, more people come into the market and push prices even higher. And so it goes. After studying Bitcoin for many hundreds of hours over the last 2 years, studying its code, looking deeply into its decentralized, pure nature, I believe that in the next 3 years, we are, in my opinion, going to have a situation where there are around 200 or 300 million people from around the world, including large institutions and possibly reserve banks. They're going to drive the price of Bitcoin up to over $100,000 USD or 140,000 Australian dollars per Bitcoin as they start to realize the true value of Bitcoin. What I believe will become the world's #1 most valuable currency in the years to come. It's almost inevitable at this point. It will happen unless there is a black swan event that occurs which nobody is expecting, but I think that's unlikely. I believe that we're currently slightly above the bottom of the market price-wise. I think the pattern of price rises from now until December 2021 or early 2022 will be similar to the pattern from the bottom of the last Bitcoin bear market, where prices bottomed in early 2015 and limped along for half the year before starting to rise approximately 1 year before the halving event in September of 2016, and continued to rise after the halving event before going parabolic and reaching a high near $20,000 USD per coin in December of 2017, which was 1 year and 3 months after the last halving event. So I think going forward, the Bitcoin prices will fluctuate between $3,500 USD to $5,000 USD for the next month or so. And then in May, or slightly before May of 2019, which is 1 year prior to the next halving, we will see the price of Bitcoin start to move higher to perhaps $8,000 to $10,000 USD per coin as people start to price in the upcoming halving. When the halving occurs in May of 2020, that's when I expect the big uptrend to start. I expect the uptrend will last for a year and a half, with the top coming in approximately December of 2021 or early to mid 2022. We will know the top as everyone will be talking about Bitcoin again, and the media will be going nuts reporting on the price, which to many will be a big shock. Most people who don't understand the technology or its implications as sound, unconfiscatable, non-sovereign hard currency will simply not understand how the price can get to what they consider to be a ridiculous high. Approximately 1 year after the first halving in 2012, we saw the price of Bitcoin hit $1,163 USD before going into a bear market, and the price reducing substantially to $152 USD. It was 4 years until the price increased to almost $20,000 USD. That's a 20 times increase from market high to market high, and a 131 times increase from market low to market high. If the price of Bitcoin behaves similarly in the next 2 years and 9 months to the last cycle, we can expect that we already hit bottom in December of 2018 at a price of $3,250 USD per coin. A 131 times increase from there would take the price of Bitcoin to $425,750 per coin. I think that price is too high, and we're still too early in Bitcoin's history to hit a $7.5 trillion market cap. I do think longer term that it will hit that, but probably not in this price cycle. So what's a reasonable expectation for the high price of Bitcoin in the next bull market? I think we're looking at a price between $100,000 USD to $250,000 USD by December of 2021. I'm more confident in $100,000 USD than I am in $250,000 USD. At a price of $100,000, that would mean an increase in the price of 25.84 times its current price and will give Bitcoin a $1.75 trillion market cap. That market cap I can see happening in this price cycle. As you can see though, in the previous rises of Bitcoin, the rises have been parabolic and have got well ahead of trend at times and below trend at other times. The red dot on this chart I've made here is at $1 million. There are some analysts out there, mathematicians like John McAfee, who do have $1 million price targets on Bitcoin. And you can see why when you look at the graph in the previous parabolic price rises. To take the price to just 100,000 USD by the end of 2021 would mean we are well below trend, and that price may be too conservative. The billionaire investor and venture capitalist Tim Draper has a $250,000 price target on Bitcoin by 2022. He may be right. Try to imagine in your mind's eye what 200 or 300 million people look like, all clamoring to get their hands on Bitcoin to take advantage of the price rises. Greed is a big motivating factor for people, and for the first time in human history, we have a form of money that takes power away from the elites and puts it back into the hands of the people. And we're all alive to witness and or to take advantage of the opportunity. Me personally, I've positioned myself to do very well out of Bitcoin. And if I do well, my family will do well. And I'll put some of my profits back into helping the Bitcoin network as well by continuing to build my solar mining operation and my Bitcoin consulting services. So, to summarize, number one, how high will the price of Bitcoin go? Between $100,000 USD to $250,000 USD per coin, which is $140,000 to $350,000 Australian. 2. When will this occur? By December of 2021 or early 2022, if the pattern of the last halving repeats, which is 2 years and 9 months away from today. 3. When should I sell to maximize my profit? December of 2021 or early 2022, or when it's obvious that things have gotten way out of hand price-wise. I do not recommend selling your whole Bitcoin stash, however. I'll always hold at least one Bitcoin. I think after 100,000 to 250,000 is reached, the price will then crash again and retreat 80% plus to the downside. That takes your $100,000 Bitcoin down to $20,000 and your $250,000 Bitcoin down to $50,000. Now, those of you who don't understand Bitcoin, don't have a technology background, are skeptical of it, etc., let me say this. I understand your skepticism. I'm a die-hard born skeptic myself, but I've looked very carefully and deeply into Bitcoin over the last 2 years, and I'm convinced we will see much higher prices in the near future. The world has never had an asset with such asymmetric upside potential, and the general public have gotten into it before the big, powerful institutions. Just imagine what the price will do when those guys FOMO in and start throwing around their billions of dollars. One of my tests as to whether something has a lot of potential is to look at the crowd it attracts. This isn't some Amway convention. You have some of the best and brightest technologists and VCs in the world operating in this space. If there is one thing I've learned in my time on this earth, it's to never bet against the nerds on something like this, as you'll lose, and you'll lose badly. There are people much smarter than I in this space, and I'm very humbled by that. There has only been a few times in my life where I've felt so confident about a technology succeeding. The first was the commercial internet back in the early 90s. It was plain as day to me that it would succeed wildly after Sir Tim Berners-Lee created the first web server at CERN, but others around me at the time didn't have the same level of confidence that I did. We're seeing the same thing play out today with Bitcoin. You want to be with this trend and not against it, I assure you. I hope this presentation has been of interest and has enlightened you to my thoughts on Bitcoin's future. I'm Clarke Towson, CEO of INTJ, Bitcoin consulting by a degree qualified computer scientist with well over 20 years experience in technology. I provide Bitcoin consulting to individuals, small businesses, and corporations. I offer Bitcoin consulting, one-on-one, in person, in Melbourne, or anywhere via phone, Skype, Facebook, or email. I will teach you everything you need to know to profit from the Bitcoin boom. I provide fixed price $100 an hour consulting services payable in Bitcoin at the end of the consultation. My Bitcoin and cryptocurrency services include education about Bitcoin, an introduction to it and why it's important, installation of Bitcoin wallets on your private and business mobile and computing devices, education about your Bitcoin wallet seed phrases and how to keep them secure, backup of your Bitcoin wallet private keys to a USB stick, and education about keeping your Bitcoin private keys secure, hands-on guidance on buying your first Bitcoin via bitcoin.com or via Coinbase or CoinSpot, assistance getting your personal, business and or credit cards set up with Simplex so you can purchase Bitcoin using your credit cards, guidance through the frustrations of dealing with your bank's fraud department as you purchase your first Bitcoin using your personal, business and or corporate credit cards, education about cryptocurrencies, an introduction to alternative cryptocurrencies, why they may be important, and the large potential profit opportunity, assistance with setting up a CoinSpot account, and guidance on how to purchase a basket of cryptocurrencies, including Monero, Ethereum, Lisk, Verge, Golem, Litecoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Going with you to a Bitcoin ATM in Melbourne and guiding you through purchasing Bitcoin using Australian currency. Setting your retail business operations up with everything you need to start accepting Bitcoin at your point of sale. Setting your operations staff up with Bitcoin. Assistance with setting up a CoinJar account and guidance on how to link your bank accounts to your Bitcoin so you can spend Bitcoin anywhere in Australia that accepts an EFTPOS debit card. Access to my Bitcoin and cryptocurrency private research. Information on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as investments. Guidance and advice on how to properly secure your Bitcoin. Creation of a Bitcoin paper wallet for long-term cold storage investment of your Bitcoins. Bitcoin wallets are created in a highly secure manner on an offline Linux system and printed out securely on high-quality photographic glossy paper with high-quality ink, which is highly resistant to water damage. Paper wallets are then folded and sealed with INTJ's custom-developed holographic security seal, which, if removed, leaves clear evidence of removal. Placed in a watertight plastic Ziploc bag, then placed in an envelope, which is sealed again. I offer a boutique Bitcoin custodianship service, and I utilize Fortis vaults for the storage of your Bitcoin private keys, paper printed and or USB sticks, Bitcoin paper wallets, and Bitcoin wallet seed phrases in safety deposit boxes. Fortis Vaults is a world-class high-security storage facility in Melbourne's CBD. Located at 10 of 227 Collins Street, Melbourne, Fortis Vaults is a highly secure, professional, private, cost-effective Bitcoin cold storage solution. Registered clients are required to pass a multi-challenge identification check, including biometric, facial recognition, iris scan, and biometric hand scan, as well as having their key to their safety deposit box. Security cameras monitor the Fortis Vaults facility 24/7. My clients are personally escorted to the vault by Fortis staff. For extra security, there is a private viewing suite, so my clients can access their Bitcoin private keys, seed phrases, paper wallets in a highly discreet and confidential environment. The private viewing suite has no security cameras, so there is zero chance of capturing your Bitcoin private key or your wallet seed phrase on camera. These high security measures mean INTJ clients can rest easy with complete 100% confidence in the privacy and security of their Bitcoin private keys, paper wallets, and wallet seed phrases.